We got John, right? I like that verse. In him was life, and the life was the light of men, and it shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend. Okay, so
For the first time in decades, that's now only one election away from changing.
And today, many took to the streets to protest across the country, protesting the Supreme Court decision. Hundreds here in our area. Joelle Jones was there. She's been there all day covering this, joining us live now with the latest. Joelle?
Yes, earlier we followed a crowd from Salmon Street Springs all the way to the Justice Center behind me. At its peak, there were about 1,500 folks, but that number has...
okay, so this woman's name is Joelle, right? Joelle is the feminine name for Joel, you know. And she said at the peak there were 1,500. So I want y'all to go to Joel 1:15 in the Bible. Ride with me. At last, for the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty.
Yes, earlier we followed a crowd from Salmon Street Springs all the way to the Justice Center behind me. At its peak, there were about 1,500 folks, but that number has now since dwindled.
Joel 1:15.
The crowd you see behind me just started marching right before we got on the air. They have been throwing glass bottles at the federal courthouse building and chanting. They also started a...
Now, y'all listen closely. I can't make this up. This is divinely from God, okay? Listen, I told y'all Joel 1:15.
From earlier, before we got on the air, they have been throwing glass bottles at the federal courthouse building and chanting. They also started a street fire in addition to that bonfire from earlier. But earlier when we spoke to the mass group of protesters, they say that...
Okay, so on this part right here, I want y'all to pay attention to this bottom part that goes across the screen. Okay?
Earlier when we spoke to the mass group of protesters,
Frederick
they
Douglass
say
Bridge in
that
Washington,
this decision
D.C.
is
shut
devastating,
down.
and they won't let it turn back the clock.
Shut down. The Frederick Douglass Bridge was shut down to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. D.C. District of Columbia. After man scales archway in protest of Roe and Wade. Archway. So my guys, do y'all know what the archway symbolizes? Renewal. It says crossing. A arch is a rite of passage when you abandon the old to discover the new. And just a little food for thought. You know, you do have arches on the bottom of your feet. Said I'm on my way up. Now this is the truth. Whether you believe it or not, I'm just here to deliver the message. And that's just plainly that. I still gotta upload. They wouldn't let me upload about the monkeypox video, but I'm still trying to do that. I might have to just redo the whole thing over again and piece by piece because it's trippy. Anyway, that's that. That's the scoop. And that's what's going on and being taken place. You're getting your land back. The tribes are uniting as one. All their statues, monuments, all that has to come down. Yes. So this is a historic day. The Queen, her affiliates, toodaloo. What goes around comes around. Stay motivated, stay up. Keep thinking positive. Keep your energy on a higher frequency. Because the evil is roaming. searching, looking, creeping for the light. And once again, I do not charge for information. How can I charge for somebody for some information that God gave me for free? That's not how it works. It don't work like that with me. But if you feel like you had edification, like I said, I do take donations. Parson, 89, Cash App. Peace and love to you all.